Up. My name is Crystal, and I am about to redo a house with my husband, and I wanted to YouTube it, and so that way we'd always have a memory of it. And if people have ideas or know of like hidden gems for like furniture or decoration or whatnot, you know, leave it down below. We are about to be, well, we already started on the kitchen, so that's exciting. It's going to take a lot of work. I'm going to do before and afters for everything. We live in Indiana, and I have always lived in this certain area. My whole family's been here. There's like a mile where it's just a strip of cousins and aunts and uncles and stuff like that. A little bit about the history of it. My grandfather started working for a man in the 30s. His name was Mr. Swanee, and he owned a place called Swanee Orchards. And they had everything, but it was mainly an apple orchard, but they did grapes and strawberries and all kinds of stuff. And Mr. Swanee didn't have any children, so he looked at my grandfather like a son. So when he passed on, he gave the whole farm and their house to them. And so my grandparents had lived there my whole life, but now my grandfather died a couple years ago, but my grandmother lives with my parents next door, and I live in a little house next door to my grandparents' house. That's probably so confusing. Anyway, I digress. Now that house is vacant, and my parents have decided to let me and my husband redo this house, and I get to live in the house where I essentially grew up, because my mother and I worked next door to my house. We really keep it on the family land. Anyway, so we get to move in. My parents have decided to let us do it, and I just thought it would be really cool to do. There's a lot of history there, and I just said that we live next door to it. This is my little kitchen now. It's cute. It's fun. But this is going to be our new house. It's pretty monstrous, but I think it's so cool. Back to the story, my mother works next door, and my grandma always lived there, so as a child, I stayed with my granny and papa, and up until I was 5, that's where I was all the time. And then obviously I'd go home to my mom after work, but I get to live in the home where my mom grew up and where I essentially grew up, me and my brother. So it's really cool. It needs a lot of work. My cousins lived in there, and they had a lot of kids. They had stuff going on, so it's not like they were going to be doing everything the way I would do it, or just slapping some paint on. So there's a lot of work to be done on the house like that, and a lot of sanding. And the cool thing is there's always been carpet in there, and underneath this carpet is the most beautiful hardwood floor. The house was built in the I think it was before the 1920. That's when it was built. But there's beautiful hardwood floors. Oh, that's little Dan. Say hi, Dan. Hey, Dan. He's so cute. He's a whiner, though. So yeah, that's a little bit about um, the house, and we'll do before and afters, and I just thought it would be really cool. YouTube kind of, lets it live on forever, and like maybe, I don't know, 30 years from now, if it's still going on, then my kids can look at it and see all the things that we did and learn a little bit about our family. So it's neat. Okay. Well, that's my story, and stay tuned.